also acknowledged on social media by Fuzzface. He did tweet it out and he was speaking about it. But hey, it's just one of those things. It's just another day in PUBG, right? You can have a bad tournament here and there. There's a couple of different things you can look at. One, TSM, they looked pretty terrible at the start of DreamHack. And then lo and behold, by the end of it, they just turned things on. It was TSM Sunday, and they came out on top as the victors. Some other teams, like Northern Lights, for example, is another one where I want to now see that sterling shining performances. We've seen some pretty big stuff out of Northern Lights so far. There are certain games where they kind of go the old Liquid route where you'd see a couple. They're going to take advantage of that. They're going to use it to the best of their abilities and drive that forward to try and get to the finals.
And driving a little too far forward is Liquid right into the eyes of Mert. Already going to get the flush on Jeems. Liquid not loving this. Smash needs to be careful. These guys are fiery. They're sharp. Mexi wants back in. Ibby's pulling up. And, well, DA got to be...
Liquid are kind of clutching at the straws here. They're in the worst position in the worst case scenario.
Yeah, and already, Ibby being picked up. Metralius was one of the two players who came over to support them. The bells are tolling in the backgrounds because we're at the church. It's just, you know, it's all joining in. DA are holding this really well. You saw the players, exactly. You saw the players who are already in the compound putting down that utility to buy time. Put down the mollies, allow those rotations to come in, and it's done perfectly. Now with Mexi and K-Mind, they could get picked apart here. They're not in particularly complementary positions, and one by one they peak, and one by one they fall. Metralius has to fall off this, but still, the damage has been done. The tone has been set, and there's no recovery. The flushes are coming out. It's just K-Mind right now. He's in the vehicle. He's going to have to leave Ibby. This is a tragedy for Liquid to start with.
Yeah, the call's been made. Get in the car and get the hell out. See what you can do. Almost the same scenario as what they actually turns up in the vehicle and then immediately has to exit. They do lose all their players, and you kind of saw what happens when you have that church compound. Metralius to be given that aerial overview of the whole fight, just playing off the back. Mexi stood no chance, even though he heard the footsteps and he had the peak. When you're up there and you're just silhouetting, still looking down, it's such a powerful position. Liquid, not a great start, losing 3 off the bat like that. Same thing, kind of what we spoke about. We'll see if Northern Lights do actually lose this player who's been knocked. Batulin would be a big name to take out straight away. I feel kind of sorry for K-Mine because he just had to ditch it in wherever he can go. Look at Kumasera, though. Bottom corner, 4 teams are actually here if you want to class Liquid as a full roster right now, even though there's only one of them left. And as soon as we say that, Mutant from the back lines with the 6 times. Just kind of find his footing. See where teams end up kind of want to go with. Yeah, it's one of those where it's just kind of set the lay of the land here with the shots that initially happen. A lot of teams will kind of get the bearings and try and figure out from at least their headphones as to where teams will be landing and where you can and can't go, because land that's going to be denied now, it will play a long game as to what your next decision is from the IGL. Where do you go? Where do you rotate from? And I think one thing that I always find with teams, especially at a pro level, which is just the bigger difference, it's knowing what options have with that next circle, being preemptive. Okay, this is a great position now, but what happens next? What happens if this shifts to side A, side B, for example? I really do love how some of these IGLs just think beyond this circle that they're playing now.
And I'm interested to see how FaZe play this out, because they could be one of the teams to take maybe a bigger spot than they have done. They've opted a little further south, and it's worked out so well. So this is a big shift across. This will open up a huge avenue for FaZe towards the land, but here, Unity trying to make it out as well. Orange spun out. Now, it's actually fast rail to get caught. That's why Fex, so some of these rotations are going to get punished, Rich.
Yeah. Some easy frags along the way, especially when you have to run through so many different teams. Your vehicle just becomes weaker and weaker as you go along. All 16 still up, though. The southern edge of this skirt just looking a little bit deadly, to be honest with you, with how many teams skirting the edge on the coastal road. Seeing Wildcats, Entropic, ENCE. ENCE, I think, have to really set a stance here. We didn't see the best of them. I certainly didn't see what was available from them from Berlin last week. So I want to see them do glorious things. If they don't move, this means they're setting up an encampment and basically just completely blocking the road all the way down to the south. Unity are trying to get themselves together. Death from above. Well, Melman has different ideas. If you can manage to get that driver, that bag's going over. One off the back, one off the front. Opts to stand and fight. Down but not out. However, Have to be aware that better luck next time. We're going to be on top of the hillside. This circle, oh, it's really hard to question. I still think between Omicron and DA, maybe shifting more towards the eastern side is still a very strong possibility. But honestly, it could go anywhere. Unity, first team to fall.
Yeah, and we're seeing one of the teams again catching our eyes here. One of the newer additions coming out from one of the other groups we haven't seen yet. Now, DA, a team we have seen a lot of, have to be careful here. They're in a little bit of a contested area. Let's have a little watch back of this right around the back. It looks like better luck next time. Just had him dead to rights, called the timing on the shots, all hit at the exact same time. No chance for recovery. Very well telestrated hit there from them.
Where that's going to be finishing, I have no idea. Money would have to say to where Wildcats are.
I think southeast, yeah.
Yeah, just because one, it's the bigger plum of land, and two, you have that priority compound up above. Close combat about to come in, getting caught on the roadside. DA clearly have read this one well and said, okay, well, we can control these valleys. The only problem is that you're obviously going to have death from above. It's okay to control these. You are going to catch people on rotation. You might be able to pick up a few frag points. But people like Omicron, some of these...
And again, it could have gone wrong if you want to look at it that way, but for now, it's all right. Now, FaZe opting to stick on the coast, but that's a lot of them in a truck. That's... Got to be a little cautious. We know that Entropic, welcome to the dealing with Entropic situation phase. These guys are ravenous. They will chase, they will get in your face, and we'll find out if FaZe can hold against them. K-Mind on the move, of course, the solo man, right? The solo man for Liquid. He's going to just try and stay in this one. He had to fight up against TSM, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be watching him. This could be Liquid out, way above 10th position. I don't know how well they're going to last. Now, Tornado Energy struggled to get away from DA. I think they might be just down to these two here. With Aliag just being knocked, there it goes. Nice little pickup. Again, we're seeing all these teams, these fringe teams, picking up on a couple of kills early on. That's definitely going to keep a couple people guessing here. Now,
of them.
Now, just a quick reminder as well. You've got to look at who's in your way. EIQ, Entropic, these guys, they are a ferocious team. So they're going to stick that out. I don't think they're going to particularly move from here. Maybe other teams will be looking for more of a centralized position. Team Liquid, heading back to the lobby. I'm just kidding. I mean, they had a rough start. There's not much more to be said about that. It sucks sometimes. It's how it goes, but they're a team that can recover. We don't need to sit there and question Liquid performance. Now, Entropic, one of those dangerous teams. Willing to fight, willing to do whatever they want. And it's, which DA do we get today? It looks like we're getting the big DA. Now, better luck next time on the push. That's going to be one traded out there, but it looks like the Penguins have quelled the threat. They can get the revive and they're good to go. Entropic are just about to face off against FaZe, a big team to try and take on, but there's other threats on that hillside. So Entropic need to be careful. They're being kept safe by...
An easy wipe if they want to get aggressive on it. Depends how much utility they have to compensate that. In the kill feed, the nuclear penguins we spoke about on arrival, they just sent it, and they're going to be sent packing, unfortunately. Zoff does at least manage to pick up a kill before doing so, but they have made some noise. Grenades up, the pin's out. If that just lands behind it, or even takes out the vehicle, that'll be both of the penguins going down. Bye-bye.
I hate it. I love penguins. They're so cute. Look at that little icon. How could you hurt them? Bastards.
They're nuclear.
They're adorable. I really like penguins. Have you ever seen the thing? It's Benedict Cumberbatch saying he was doing a documentary, and basically it was about penguins. But when you say penguin so much, it becomes really hard to say penguin. It's one of those weird words. And at the end of it, he was just saying penguin. It was a very weird thing. Look it up on YouTube. Have a good time. Deep dive on it. DA. It looked like we had the big boy DA turning up. The scary DA. The DA that kind of makes chat slightly lose their minds and the Turkish fans go wild. But they've just lost one. That was Sixmo's brother-in-arms. They're pushed up together, but they do have the Wildcats up against them. Now, TSM have found Omicron. That's them down in 11th. And, theorites on the desk. This could have been a harder day. Now, Deep's working their way forward. Not much to work with either, and does go down. Northern Lights in 10th. They're losing on some pretty big names quite early. The circle has been rough, though.
It's kind of what we expected, where it would be ending, given the terrain that is available to them. Not many compounds still available. Uber with a response, so Beardo goes down. And FaZe are going to be going up, working their way up the mountainside, up the hillside, whatever you want to call it. Have to be careful, though.
Rich, is this a mistake?
I think they were potentially waiting to see if that they didn't actually watch this. I think they may... Well, I actually think the only thing they could have been doing was hoping that Elgiganten weren't watching this. But on the opposing side, Gaxi had the off angle at all times, so they'll just fed every single bit of information there back to the players on top of the roof, and ultimately that puts TSM in the gravestone. 8C.
To sweep up north. That's going to be Entropic in their way. Double was the one pestering FaZe from above, almost taking out 8C, but they survive. Now, and spot this out. They're way further south, but they could get a good bit of vision. But look who's over that ridge. Look who's coming over that hill. It's Fuzzface. Does he spot DA? I heard a shot, and I think he knows what's happening. Nade to hand. DA, you better be careful. That's a good nade there. That could be putting Mert right back down. 6mo in danger. Another nade comes in, but here come the Wildcats. Fire slowing down FaZe, but the nades have done what they needed. Fuzzface in the kill feed. FaZe fans already going to get their hopes up from this one. This could be a good game, but they've got a lot of attention here.
Look at Micah. Still just chilling. Players are falling down towards him. Finally gets spotted out. At least makes it into the top 10. Uber, it's it, falling back to back. IW with the placement position that they've had on the map. They have a clear line of sight onto FaZe. They're up against the blue as well. The Walking Dead could be fully dead any second. She created with a grenade. Doesn't have the full information that we needed for that nade altogether. Players still not back on their feet, but two of them standing. They managed to get 8C alive, and the meds are there, so they can continue to fight another day. Fuzzface goes down, but at least not without response, so they're going to be given a lifeline. However, with that circle moving, it's going to be extremely difficult. Bombardment will continue to try and create some kind of, I don't know, just something of a means to get in here, but Rupture's laid down. Being the pillar in the way of the road here, and FaZe Clan 5th place.
Not bad. I was a little bit worried the Wildcats overextended, but I guess, is there a perfect northeast? So, yeah, there it is. You can see the other side of things. Gaxi's going to see it. Zembri, I think, might be done for. There it is. Gaxi, did you bind shoot to mouse wheel? What the hell was that? Spamming away. And now, Squeaky dives in as well. Every team just popping off. All of them have vision. It's just how the circle goes. And now, actually, I think the Wildcats did just get a bit of a look towards end, so they're working it out. But each team is somewhat being kept safe by the terrain around them. The Misfits could get some fire onto one of these teams, but the Blue's going to force them forward, and then they'll have nothing to play with. I think Gaxi's still looking their way as well, but what are the Wildcats up to? Are they pushing? Well, ends up focused on the Misfits. Are they pushing? I love this, Rich. This is what I love about a team that I don't know that much about. This is super surprising, and speaking of a surprise, it's a disastrous surprise for Ents. They didn't expect this. Who pushes out in these scenarios? A team who's come in and they mean business. The Wildcats pushing straight up. This aggressive, decisive play. BSD swinging around on the southern ground, going to try and catch Tixu maybe, going to try and get the revive. It's a good peek. That's going to force Tixu off the revive. Keep him humble, but they've got to be careful. You don't get to tussle with Ents and not get away, completely free. There's a bit of a question of, can they hold on to this now? Rustamar has bled out, Rich. This is still very much an even battle, but this could open up to Elgiganten once they see that kill feed.
I'm glad you kind of mentioned those, because they're doing exactly the same. They're mirror imaging this. The Wildcats thought it was a good time to move.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to be the first team to get in the fight, right? You want the others to fight out, and then you can try and pick up the pieces. Gaxi's nade does the skeleton bit of damage, though, and that's while they were fighting against the Wildcats. Fire comes back in from the Wildcats, and again, it's this tussling. It's this back and forth. No one wants to overextend, but Squeaky's been flushed. Ents looks like they're on the receiving end, and again, the Wildcats. 10 kills! These guys coming in. I wouldn't put them pound for pound with these boys, but they've just outdone Gaxi. The Wildcats are living up to that name, but Knorkis has had enough. He's put the cage down, he's trapped one of them, but now they're fighting back. We still have 2 players standing for Elgiganten, but so do the Wildcats. Knorkis is in the blue, he's trying to stick it out on the shot, he gets down 1, but now is the remaining player able to do anything? Gets the flush on Gaxi, that's points. And well, we know those mean prizes. Ghost Star and Knorkis, oh, he just gets touched by the ball.